Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today, and today we're going to be talking about a trade the Los Angeles Lakers need to make as soon as possible, and that's trading for Jonas Valančiūnas. And look, I've thought about it before making this video, before something I heard about with Anthony Davis, that this needs to be a trade the Lakers make. I think this is a trade we've kind of heard about in the rumblings. Going back to the offseason, there were rumors right before Jonas Valančiūnas signed with the Wizards, there was rumors that the Lakers wanted to sign Jonas Valančiūnas, and there were some rumors, and I'll never forget, literally right after the Wizards signed Jonas Valančiūnas, you hear, Wizards signing 3-year deal with Jonas Valančiūnas, it's, $9 million each year, and you're like, okay, Wizards got themselves a really solid big man, and you're going to see a nice duo between Valančiūnas and Alex Sarr for the next couple years to come. And 30 minutes, hour later, Lakers are favored to trade for Jonas Valančiūnas once the trade deadline hits. I'm like, dude, just sign his contract. But so this has been a while that I've been thinking about Jonas Valančiūnas going to Lakers, and we've known it's a potential possibility. And so I think that Jonas Valančiūnas, he's the perfect fit for the Lakers. Not only do they need rebounding, they need a big man. Like, I just saw a clip which made me want to do this video in the first place, was Anthony Davis talking with Shania, and it was this interview, and he said, we need a center. And he's right when he says this next part. I feel like I play my best basketball when I'm at the 4. And that's 100% correct. And look, what are they going to do? You got to get a big man. Jackson Hayes is solid. He's been really good this year. Another stat I learned the other night is the Lakers are 7-2 or 8-2 when Jackson Hayes gets a block, which is weird. I was watching the Lakers Wizards game, funny enough, against Jonas Valančiūnas, and the Lakers have a really good record when when Jackson Hayes gets a block. Jackson Hayes, I love Jackson Hayes. Really, really solid player. But the problem is that, what are you can start? Sure, let's go over what this possibility would be. You start Jackson Hayes at the 5. Anthony Davis goes to the 4. At the 3 is, I guess, LeBron, and at the 2 is Max Christie, and at the 1 is Austin Reeves. That's just assuming they don't play big, and Rui's at the 3 and LeBron's at the 2 and Austin Reeves is at the 1. I don't think they'd play that big. That's kind of big to have LeBron at the 2 and Rui at the 3, while you have AD at the 4 and Jonas at the 5. Jackson Hayes at the 5. So they could do that, right? It's definitely a possibility. But here's the one problem for the Lakers. If you start Jackson Hayes, who's really good, and I don't think he'd be that bad as a starter. If you do that, who the hell's coming off the bench as the backup man, as the backup big man? Christian Wood, who's been injured all season and hasn't played at all this year, and even if he is healthy, he's really a power forward and not a center. What are you going to start? Are they going to start him? Are they going to make him the backup big man? Jackson Hayes needs to stay off the bench because he does a really good job off the bench. Lakers have a great record when he does play great basketball. So he needs to stay off the bench, and they need to trade for a center. And I think Jonas Valančiūnas is probably one of the best fits you can go get. Doesn't have an outrageous contract like some of these other players the Lakers are interested in. I don't think it's that crazy of a contract. Like hearing yesterday, Lonzo Ball. Look, Lonzo's a solid player, but he has a $21 million contract. You have to trade Gabe Vincent, who's playing really well, Jared Vanderbilt, and maybe a draft pick or two to get Lonzo. That's way too much because Lonzo has a $21 million salary. But he has a solid contract. He's making $9 million a year. He's rebounding great this year, even though his minutes are terrible. He's averaging 8 rebounds, and he's only playing 19 minutes per game. And he's still averaging also almost 12 points per game in 19 minutes per game. So I think this is the perfect trade for the Lakers. What we heard was the Wizards are probably going to only want a couple second-round picks. So I'm going to go over the trade I have happening to land Jonas Valančiūnas in LA. Jared Vanderbilt, who has not played at all this year, but is scheduled to make his NBA season debut, not NBA debut, but season debut Saturday night against the Warriors. He played 29 games last year, 6 starts, 20 minutes per game. if I'm not mistaken, didn't he make his season debut last year against the Warriors as well in a primetime game? I think so. If so, that's crazy that he's doing the same thing back to back years. But last year he averaged 5 and 5 with 1 assist per game and 1 steal per game. Really solid defensive player. So, but then I have Jared Vanderbilt headed to Washington with 4 second-round picks. I'm gonna go over the second-round picks I have going to Washington. 2025 second-round pick via the Clippers. Los Angeles 2025 second-rounder, a 2027 second-rounder, and a 2031 second-rounder. The reason I say 4 second-round picks, I know that I said that Valančiūnas was worth around 1 to 3 second-round picks, which I know that sounds crazy. Well, why 4 second-round picks? Because the rumors that have been going around is that teams are going to ask the Lakers to add in draft picks in order to take on Jared Vanderbilt's contract. Jared Vanderbilt's making almost $11 million a year and has 4 years left on his contract and has barely played at all. Like, look, Jared Vanderbilt only played not even 30 games last year, has not played at all this year. That's a little bit dangerous to take on. After this season, Jared Vanderbilt is under contract for another 3 seasons, and I mean you have to pay him almost $11 million for each season. It's kind of ridiculous, and I think that's why we heard a couple of days ago the Lakers might have to attach a first-round pick in order to trade Jared Vanderbilt. I don't think that will have to happen for this Lakers team, but I think if you throw in 4 second-round picks with Jared Vanderbilt and say give us Jonas, they probably take the deal. You get Jonas, you get rid of Vanderbilt's terrible contract. Sure, you have to get rid of a buttload of seconds in order for that to happen, but I think it's worth it because you get a solid center who comes in, I think makes Anthony Davis and LeBron James' life easier. And not only that, but he makes the team better with his rebounding, his solid defense, and his great rebounding. And I think, like AD said, like I've said, like so many other people have said, he plays better at the 4. So that would make him a better player as well. And on top of all of that, the cherry on top of all of it is, sure, Jared Vanderbilt's a good rebounder. Sure, he's a good defender. But do you really want a guy that for another 3+ seasons who's only played 29 games in the last season and a half on your roster, making $11 million a year for what he's doing? Kawhi is a guy who's injured all the time. Another guy who just popped up on my screen, Ben Simmons, is a guy that are injured all the time. Kawhi is a guy that's injured all the time, right? But when sure, you could wonder why haven't the Clippers traded him, because he's so injury prone and they're paying him a lot of money. Well, it's because when Kawhi is on the floor, he's so valuable to that Clippers team. And he does a great job. I'm not saying Jared Vanderbilt doesn't, but you shouldn't keep a guy who's only averaging 5 and 5 and plays good defense and barely plays. And you can actually get some value back for that. Attach a buttload of seconds and get Jonas Valančiūnas. And I think adding in a very solid 5 like Jonas Valančiūnas will make this Lakers team better. I'm not going to say that that's it. Lakers are contenders. Maybe I feel like you'd have to make maybe one more very small trade, or maybe add into the team throughout the buyout market. But if they did that as an addition to Jonas Valančiūnas, a small trade or adding in through the buyout market, this Lakers team definitely has a chance to compete in the postseason. I really think Jonas Valančiūnas is a trade that needs to happen for this Lakers team. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and peace out.